Very little is known about Gongs and Chimes, but it became one of the eeriest number stations ever to hit the shortwave dial. With the Enigma ID G03, it became known for its famous Gongs and Chimes preamble signal, which was played from a tape, an interesting point that'll become clear soon. It was operated by the East German Army, or the NVA. The National People's Army were the armed forces of the German Democratic Republic from 1956 to 1990. The NVA was organised into 4 branches: ground forces, a navy, an air force, and border troops. It's believed that the station was designed to convey coded news from East Berlin, agents in the FRG, and neighbouring foreign countries. Sources state that the signal transmitted from Ziesen in Germany and was remotely controlled from Wernsdorf outside Berlin, but I may be able to shed some more light on this. My research indicates that the control centre for G03 was a large transmission facility for long-wave, medium-wave and shortwave radio located near Königs Wusterhausen, southeast of Berlin. This is the only likely control site, sitting just southwest of Wernsdorf, and it was on the radar of the Central Intelligence Agency in the 1950s. Why? I don't know. With the end of World War II, Königs Wusterhausen was part of the Soviet occupation zone, and several masts were taken down by the order of the military government, though the station remained in use for broadcasting in East Germany. The central tower collapsed during Cyclone Quimberger on the 15th of November 1972. By the time of Germany's reunification in 1990, there was only one 210-metre high mast with a long-wave aerial, 2 masts for a T-aerial for medium wave, and some small towers. The remaining transmitters for medium wave, shortwave and long wave were shut down between 1992 and 1999, and the whole area was transformed into a museum, which is marked by a 210-metre high mast. The transmitter location for G03 was possibly here, the former site of Deutschlandsender Ziesen, a facility for long-wave broadcasting near Ziesen, a district of Königs Wusterhausen, not far from the control site. In 1939, the Ziesen transmitter was replaced by Deutschlandsender 3 at Herzberg. In World War II, it was used as a reserve transmitter for the Herzberg station and for transmitting messages to agents of Germany's secret services. The facility was dismantled in 1945 by order of the Soviet occupation forces. However, CIA documents suggest that by mid-1955, US intelligence had reason to believe that a new transmitter site was to be built close to the old one in the same woods. They believed that the construction was due to start in the autumn of that year. I can't find any information on this new site, but Google Earth imagery reveals some sort of broadcast facility in place here, which has since been closed down. Transmissions for G03 began at half-hour intervals, beginning in early evening European time. They took place on weekdays at 1800 hours UTC, with the last transmission being at 2300 hours on 3258 kHz. Messages were also sent on Saturdays at 1000 hours UTC on 5410 kHz. This half-hourly schedule was adjusted if any transmission exceeded the 20-minute limit set aside for each broadcast. In such a case, the next transmission was carried on the next available half-hourly slot. The preamble began 10 minutes before the actual traffic was due to be sent and contained a set of 8 separate chimes which appeared to be from an old clock. This was repeated leading up to the transmission time on the hour or half hour. The traffic began with a traffic list which repeated 5 times. The preamble structure began with an interval followed by Achtung, a 5-digit recipient ID, then Trennung, followed by a 2-digit number.
Achtung, 7, 5, 4, 5, 6, Trennung, 1, 2, 7, 0, 8, 6, 0, Trennung, 9. 8, 5, 7, 1, 7, Trennung, 1, 6. Achtung, 7, 5, 4, 5, 6, Trennung, 1, 2, 7, 0, 8.
The message structure was pretty much the same, followed by 5-digit paired groups of numbers, ending with the word ender.
7,
Transmissions ended with an 8-second dead air period followed by one set of chimes. The transmitter used for these transmissions appeared to be switched off within 1 minute of the final chime sequence, and was similarly switched on at the very beginning of the broadcast and not before. The 5-digit message traffic was sent at 19 groups per minute in German by a harsh computer-synthesized female voice. Pronunciation was of the usual East German standard. The voice of G03 was generated by a Stasi Sprachmorse machine and was manipulated in such a way that the voice sounded higher than it should have done. Over the years, the tape containing the gong and chime sound stretched out, and the audio began to appear distorted. This made the station sound even more unnerving, and part of the reason it became so popular amongst listeners. The tape degradation was significantly more noticeable by the time the station disappeared. The thawing of the Cold War, initiated by Soviet Premier Mikhail Gorbachev, which led to the Brussels Conference of World Powers in November 1990, finally silenced the East German number station on the evening of Wednesday the 9th of May 1990, when final messages were sent out to agents in the field. This final broadcast was unusual in itself, however. It started with the Gongs and Chimes intro, and then what appeared to be drunken NVA soldiers could be heard singing a well-known German children's song, Alle meine Entchen, All My Ducklings. Before that, one of them said, Und nun die Sendung für das aufgeweckte Kinder, and now the transmission for the bright child. And just like that, Gongs and Chimes fell silent and was never heard again.